So, in considering the sections of a parenting plan, your standard parenting plan, we've got restrictions. So, whether or not anything's going on with one parent that should cause a basis to restrict that parent's time with the children, like domestic violence, mental health, substance abuse, criminal history, abandonment, neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, things like that. Then there's decision making, how parents are going to make decisions like education, healthcare, extracurricular activities, typically jointly, but sometimes there's an exception there. And then we've got the residential schedule, which starts with the school schedule. What's the schedule going to be when the children are in school? And then breaks from school, like summer schedule, spring break, any other like midwinter break, winter break, the breaks from school. And then we've got holidays. And this can vary depending on what your family celebrates. So it could be, Christmas Eve and Christmas. It could be Eid and Ramadan. It could be the Jewish holidays. Whatever the case, those would be factored in. And then we've got special occasions, things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, those sorts of special occasions. And then like vacation time, and usually that's built into the summer schedule, and like a notice period for how you notify the other parent of what dates you prefer to take vacation. And then we've got how disputes are going to be resolved. And I think the norm, or what's often recommended, is that once parents have a final parenting plan, if they have disputes in the future, that they go to mediation before going to court. And then there are a lot of other provisions that can be added, things like making sure the other parent is kept up to date with address and contact information, making sure you both have access to medical and school records, making sure you don't disparage the other, especially, not in front of your children, not talk badly about mom or talk badly about dad in front of the children. And there are some others that can be added. I think oftentimes less is more. To have a less detailed parenting plan is useful. However, if you're in a high conflict situation where less means it's open to this, that, and the other interpretation, I would just say the ideal scenario is that the parenting plan becomes the floor and not the ceiling, and that the two of you learn to co-parent and put your children front and center and not in the middle of any disputes, that you deal with adult disputes as adults and keep your children out of it, and you communicate well and effectively. And if you can't, use an app like Our Family Wizard in order to communicate, to really keep the kids out of any conflict between the two of you. And ideally, that parenting plan, you don't need to refer to it because you're communicating so effectively. If you have any questions about parenting plans or the different sections of parenting plans or what may work best for you, remember it's for your children first and foremost. Contact us at clearwaterpnw.com.